I'm not sure what's going on with the Wi-Fi, whether Rogers is having a bad day or what. But welcome everyone. It is Tuesday. It is time for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gersa. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. And we're going to keep our fingers crossed that the Wi-Fi actually stays connected and we are able to get through today's video because I have some super cute projects to share with you. Laura's says it keeps freezing. Okay. I haven't had a notice recently that it's not connecting. So here's hoping that we can continue. I'm going to see if I can bring it up. It is working on my iPad. So, okay. Happy Tuesday. Happy 4th of July to all of my American friends. I see you, Laura Sullivan, in Ohio. I hope you are having a wonderful day celebrating your beautiful country. And we just had Canada Day here on Saturday. Had a great day. Drove up to visit a high school friend of my husband's and had a great time just celebrating our beautiful country. All right, I'm getting some you're good here's. All right, so here's hoping. Let's just hope and pray that things stay connected and we are good. Hi, Penny. Hi, Joyce. All right. Hi, Julie. Okay, so what are we going to talk about? Well, there is so much happening this week in Stampin' Up! Land. It's kind of a big week. So Thursday, July 6th is the day that you need to make sure that you check out my online store. Why? There are 4 things all happening at the same time. So first of all, big news, clearance rack is being updated. Okay, so you're going to want to log on early because as you know, the best deals go super quick. So clearance rack update is number 1. Number 2, brand new online exclusive products are being launched. So there are several new products, a suite, a couple of bundles, some beautiful ribbon. You're going to want to check that out as well. Also, if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, past Paper Pumpkin kits, refills, and add-ons are going on sale for half price. Yes, 50% off starting on Thursday. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, so you have to be a current subscriber. So if you're not a subscriber, there's still time to subscribe. Or if you have let your subscription lapse, you can reactivate it so that you can access the amazing deal on these past kits. The third thing, with all of these things that you can get as deals, are bonus days. So bonus days is a promotion that we had, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, and kind of went away when we started with Summer Celebration. But bonus days are back. And so as you're shopping the clearance rack and the Paper Pumpkin sale and the online exclusives, for every $60 you spend, you get a bonus days coupon that you can redeem in August. So you get a $6 coupon for every $60 you spend. So essentially 10%, right? So that's not too shabby, a 10% bonus coupon that you can spend in August. All right, so there's a lot going on Thursday. You're going to want to make sure you check it out, okay? All right, now today we are all about the Inked Botanicals Suite from the 2023-2024 annual catalog. It is a beautiful suite, and honestly, I was like, it's pretty. I wasn't all that, it was just one of those, oh, it's nice kind of suites. Well, of course, as always happens to me, when I purchase products and start playing with them, I fall in love with them. And so I have 3 fairly simple projects, 2 sort of fun folds and 1 not really fun fold, but kind of. So they're really simple ways to kind of take your cards from just average to up a step. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 projects today. I'm going to show you some more. This particular stamp set lends itself really well to techniques. So I was having lots of fun getting messy on the weekend, playing with inks and blending and watercolor, and so I'm going to show you some other projects that I did using this stamp set as well at the end. Okay, all right, time to stop talking. We are going to get to some stamping. So let me flip my camera. Facebook keeps moving the buttons. There we go. Let's flipperoo. And make sure we're locked in. There we go. Move up just a smidge. All right, we are good to go. All right, Deb, first DSP you bought and you love it. It is beautiful, I will admit. Oh, you had to put your ice cream in the freezer. I hope the rest of the groceries are not perishable, Deb. So here is the beautiful Inked Botanicals Suite. It's on page 94 and 95 in the annual catalog. This stamp set and all of the prints in the Botanicals DSP were made from inking up actual foliage. So these are flowers that have been pressed, inked, and then pressed onto paper. So all of these are what you would get if you actually stamped with botanical foliage, which I think is so cool. What a creative way to create patterns and create a stamp set. So let's have a closer look. All right, thanks Julie for letting me know. I'm glad we're good. I think we're in the clear. I'm glad I reset the router. All right, so we have, first of all, our bundle. This is a punch bundle. You actually get 2 punches in the stamp set. So the stamp set, again, has these beautiful stamped botanical images and then some lovely sentiments. Best thing about the sentiments is they all fit in one of these 2 punches, okay? So these ones fit in the larger, and then these little guys actually fit across in the little X here. So you're going to see some examples of that in a minute. So these 2 punches, fabulous punches. I'm finding myself reaching for them a whole bunch, and I'm having lots of fun layering them. I'm going to show you a couple ways to layer to get a mat behind these punched images. But actually, I think I'm going to put together a sort of how-to sheet for various ways to layer these punches, because I'm just having so much fun experimenting with ways to layer these different images. So let's get these out of the way. Then, of course, we have some beautiful ribbon. This is, what do we call this? This is bordered ribbon. I'm not sure it's bordered. It looks like, it's kind of like a cotton linen look. It's very soft. It's not stiff at all. It is Lagoon, which, well, let's just be honest, is a gorgeous color. It's one of my go-tos, and like I said, when it first came out, it has replaced Soft Succulent in my heart. I'm not missing Soft Succulent nearly as much as I thought I would, because this fills the hole. Okay, so very, very pretty ribbon. I'm actually going to leave that tied in a bow because we're going to use that bow in a little bit. And then we have the beautiful DSP. So we have Lost Lagoon, Pool Party, Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, and Crushed Curry in this paper. So let me just pick these up and show you. We've got lots and lots of patterns. I'll turn that one around. So it's not all flowers. We have lots of leaves. We've got various botanical images. There's another one. Love this plaid. So gorgeous. Love this one too. We're actually going to use that on our first card. So there are the one side, and then when we flip them over, of course, we get warm tones here. So we've got lots of Petal Pink, Calypso Coral, bright warm colors. So pretty. I have found myself gravitating towards the cooler tones, but you're going to see that I also actually brought in some of the yellow as well. So if you think that you're not a brights person, you know what? Once you play with this paper a little bit, you will find yourself gravitating towards both. All right, so there we go. There is our DSP. You get 48 sheets in the pack, 4 of each pattern. And here we go. So our first card is one I posted yesterday. So I mentioned cool tones. So I'm loving Lost Lagoon and Bubble Bath together. So let me show you how to put this one together. It's really quick and easy. So this starts out with just a Lost Lagoon card base. It is 7.5 by 5.5. So normally a card base is 8.5. So I've just cut an inch off one side, and I'm still scoring at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and fold that in half along our score line. Okay, and that's going to form our card base. So this is just a slightly different way to take an average card up a notch. And it allows you to use 3 patterns, yes, 3 different patterns of DSP. All right, so we have our largest piece. This is cut to 3 by 5 1/4. And I've actually embossed it using the Fern embossing folder. I'm not sure how well that's going to show on the video, but it's so pretty and adds really subtle texture. And we're going to mat that. Oh, I've got a sequin stuck to my cardstock. There we go. We're going to mat that on a piece of basic white cardstock. This is 3 1/8 by 5 3/8. So that is going to mat nicely on there. Now, because this is embossed DSP, I'm actually going to add my seal to my white layer here, just because I don't want to tear that very delicate DSP. Once it's been embossed, it is quite fragile. So we're going to go ahead and layer our embossed DSP on just that white mat. Then that is going to get glued to the front of our card. So we'll go ahead and add that. Oh, Jill, you've got 2 spools of Lost Lagoon ribbon. Good for you. That is awesome. Hi, Tracy. I am on holidays, finally. It took a while, but I am finally on holidays. All right, so now we are going to add our layer to the inside. So this is a piece of white cardstock, again, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I have yet another pattern of the DSP. This is cut to 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. So that's going to give us a narrow little border on 3 sides and then space to right in our card. So we'll go ahead and add that. Thanks so much for sharing, Jill. I really appreciate it. Hi, Bonnie. How's the wrist? I hope you're back to stamping. I don't think I could be away from stamping for as long as you have been. Getting injured is no fun, especially when it's your stamping hand. So we're going to go ahead and layer our white piece inside our card here. Nice and straight. And I always like to close this just to make sure my edges line up so that they're nice and even. There we go. Okay, super simple card base. Now for our focal image, we're going to layer a piece of the DSP. This is 2 3/4 square, a piece of basic white, 2 7/8 square, and then a piece of Lost Lagoon that is 3 inches square. Okay, so we're kind of creating a layered sandwich here. So we'll go ahead and just layer these up. And I'm looking at white on white again. It's never a good thing. I always have to pick it up so I can see my borders. And then we're going to add this one to our Lost Lagoon layer. Just like that. I just love the little pop of white, the way it sets off the DSP against the Lost Lagoon card base. Okay, so that is our foundation. Now we're going to add a little bit of that pretty ribbon. So I'm going to cut my bow off here. My ribbon's a little bit creased on the roll, so it's a little bit curled, but that's okay. So I'm going to grab a glue dot, press the end of my ribbon. Yours goes to green screen. Okay, I haven't gotten a notice at all, Deb, that it's still a problem. So maybe exit and try starting over, like coming back in. I don't know whether that's you or me. I'm hoping it's not me because this is recording. And I'm really hoping that the recording works because I don't want to have to redo this. So this is going to get centered on the front of our card, just like this. Now you want to make sure when you're wrapping your ribbon that you leave enough length so you're not going to see that raw edge. Okay, so I've left just enough length so that that raw edge is hidden. So I'm going to flip this over, and this is just a little tip for knowing where to put your glue. So obviously we don't want glue on this part, right? So we're going to add our seal on the larger section here. And then we can flip this over and be confident knowing that we've put our glue where we need it and not where we don't, because we don't want to stick our card shut. Okay, so there we go. There is our card base. And then we're going to do a little bit of work on our sentiment. So I have a little scrap of, not a little, a large-ish scrap of white cardstock. Certainly don't need all of it. But we are going to stamp our thank you sentiment in Lost Lagoon ink. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. All right, so we're going to ink up our thank you. Now I'm going to stamp this in a fair bit from the edge because this little punch is actually bigger than you think. And I found myself the first couple of times stamping too close to the edge, and I was losing one of the points on my little label here. So I'm just going to center that in my punch and pop it out. And then we are going to mat. So there are several different ways that you can mat with these punches. So I'm using the X, and I'm going to go ahead and just cut this in half like this. So what we're going to do, what did I do here? Is this the wrong one? I think it is. What did I do? Oh no, I shouldn't have cut it in half. That's all right. I'll punch another one. Almost got confused there, girls. All right, so I have an X. I'm going to add a little bit of seal to the back of my stamped label. And then I'm going to layer this, and I like to just do this on my work surface. So you can see I have a little bit peeking out. Okay, let me grab a little bit more bubble bath, and we're going to punch another. Where are you, bubble bath? I'm going to punch another X, and this time I won't cut it in half. There we go. And we're going to add a little bit more seal to the other side. And again, we're going to layer this. And you just want to take your time to make sure that your points are even and you have an equal border. Okay, so that is going to go on like that. But first, we're going to add some foliage. So we have these cute little flowers. I've already stamped and fuzzy cut them out just in the interest of time. And then I've also stamped one of the large leaf images. So we're going to kind of build our little arrangement here. So I'm going to start by adding some seal to the back of my label here. And we're going to add one little set of blooms. And then we're going to add a leaf. So we're just going to kind of build this up. Floral arranging 101. Here we go again. If you watch my videos, you have to be okay with watching me arrange flowers. It's kind of what I do. I can't seem to help myself. And then this little guy is going to go here. Actually, I like that in behind. I don't want to cover up too much of my flower. And then this one is going to peek up in behind. Whoopsie. So we'll add that guy there. And then to balance it out, we're going to add a couple of leaves on the bottom corner. So we'll put one leaf here. And we'll add our flowers. And then one more leaf and we're done. One more on this side. That one in there like that. And there we go. There is our little floral arrangement. So we're going to pop this up. Okay, add a couple of dimensionals to our little arrangement here. There's lots of layers on the back of this label, but it doesn't matter. You will not see them from the front. So we'll get rid of all of our backings here and pop this on fairly centered on our square. And then we're going to add our cute little bow that we tied earlier. So press the knot of the bow into a glue dot and then tuck that on just like that. Okay, our last touch are some of my go-to adhesive back sequins. We'll just add a few of these little guys scattered around. One up here, and there we go. Done and done. You like that one? Really, really simple. But I absolutely love Lost Lagoon and Bubble Bath. I think it's just one of my new favorite color combos. All right, so that is number one. Fini. Moving on, we're gonna do a simple fun fold, but it's kind of a wow. So Krista, this is your fun fold. So Krista did a demonstration for one of our Stamping Symphony team meetings a while back. And she showed us this really fun interlocking gatefold. So it kind of works like that. It opens up like this. You can stand it up so that you have a larger surface, okay? Or you can open it right up like that. So I'm going to show you how to put this together. Really fun. And since Krista showed me, I've been meaning to show you guys how to do this. So the time has come. So here we go. So to start, we have a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of thick basic white cardstock. You can use regular whites if you'd like. I just like the sturdiness of this, okay? But you do not have to use thick basic white if you do not want to, okay? So then we are scoring, I'm just putting this on my ruler here, at 1 3/8 and 2 3/4 on either end. So 1 3/8, 2 3/4, rotate 180 degrees, 1 3/8, 2 3/4. All right. Then we're going to start folding our score line. So I'm folding the innermost one inwards and then the other one back. Okay, so we're going to get this sort of gatefold effect. And then same thing on this side. We're going to fold this one inwards and then this one back. Now, because I have thick basic white cardstock, I'm really going to burnish very, very well. Thick basic white is very heavy cardstock, so you want to make sure your folds are really well burnished. I'm just going to give these another once over. There we go. Okay, so that is our base. You'll notice that once it's folded, it looks like a standard card size. Okay, all right. Hi, Flo. Actually, you are not. You're actually watching me live. I'm live on Tuesday. The holiday, I think, has messed a lot of people up. Almost messed me up. But here we go. It is Tuesday and I am live. So welcome. Glad you could join me live. All right. So that is our base. Now we are going to work on these two panels. Okay. So again, I've got basic white cardstock. Now this is just regular basic white. I use the lighter weight cardstock because it's going to be layered with colored cardstock, so I felt like I didn't need to use the thick white. So these are cut to 5 1/2 by 2 1/8. Okay, so two pieces, 5 1/2 by 2 1/8. And then I have some crushed curry cardstock that is 5 3/8 by 2. So that is going to layer like that. Ooh, that's not very even. 5 3/8. That's a little on the long side. We're going to give that a little chomp, just to tidy that up a bit. Actually, I'll do it once I glue my DSP on. And then our DSP is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. Okay, so those are going to get glued. So we're just going to layer these up. We've got 2 of them. So we're going to layer this one. Isn't this yellow plaid pretty? It's so soft and summery. You need a sundress. I feel like I need a sundress in this color. Or a blouse. So we'll go ahead and layer that onto our white panel. Yeah, these are not quite, is this 5 1/2? Yeah, it is. My measurements are a little wonky, but we'll make it work. There we go. And then same thing all over again, because we need 2 panels exactly the same. And again, this some more glue. And we'll layer this one up too. This one feels, no, it's good. I don't know, maybe it's just my eyes today. All right, so these are now going to get glued onto our base. Okay, so my advice to you is have it folded shut. You're gonna flip your panel over and you're going to put your glue on this little section right here. So this is folded shut. I'm only putting glue right here. Okay. So I'm going to flip this back over and I'm going to line up my edges. You want everything to be nice and square, neat and tidy, just like that. Okay. So now I'm going to flip this over, stand it on its head, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to flip my panel over. I'm going to line it up so it's nice and straight and even. I'm going to put glue just on this section. And then I'm going to flip it back over and make sure everything's on nice and straight. Some days I am all thumbs. You need to move. Don't stick yet. This is why I use liquid glue when I'm doing this card, because you do need to make sure everything is nice and flush. Okay, so that's how it's going to open. See how easy that was? All right, now I didn't like, when I opened it, I didn't like seeing this blank white space. So we're gonna add a little bit of DSP because we can. So these little guys are 1 1/4 by 2 inches. So we're gonna put one down here and another one up top. So we'll just add a little bit of glue here and pop this one on down here. There we go. And where's my other one? There's another one buried here somewhere. The other one's going to go up top. Okay, both of these are exactly the same size. Kind of like a mirror image of each other. All right, so there we go. There is our card base done. Isn't that an easy, fun fold? So easy. All right, now we're going to decorate. So I have a piece of, well, this is actually a Radiating Stitches rectangle cut with the Radiating Stitches die. These are online exclusive dies, okay? So you'll want to check them out along with the new products that are coming on Thursday. Have another little piece of DSP. This is 1 3/8 by 3. So we're going to go ahead and glue that onto our cardstock. I'm sorry if you can hear our Roomba. It is programmed to start at 4 o'clock. I don't know why my husband decided 4 o'clock was in the afternoon was a good time for for the Roomba to run, but that's when it's running and it is noisy. All right, so let me talk for a minute about these little flowers. So the stamp looks like this. You get 2 blossoms and some stems and leaves. So what I did is I stamped this image twice. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that in a few minutes because we're going to stamp the insides. You'll see exactly how I did that. Okay, then I just fussy cut them, and you'll notice these flowers aren't actually touching. The stems aren't touching, so it's easy to cut them as separate blossoms. So we're going to go ahead and arrange these. I'm going to start with my largest blossom, and I need my mini dimensionals. So I'm just going to add a couple of minis to the back of my larger flower here. And I'm actually going to cut my leaf off this flower. We're going to use it just as a single leaf. So this is going to get stuck pretty much in the center of our cardstock here. I'm going to just trim that a little bit. I'm going to add just a little smidge of glue, if it wants to come out, come on, to the stem, because the stem I'm actually going to glue flat. We're going to layer other things on top of it. So there we go. Okay, there's our flower. Then we're going to add our little yellow flowers. So again, a couple of mini dimensionals. And then I'm actually going to use a half mini. I'm going to chop my minis in half, and I'm going to add a couple to the leaf here. So we'll put one there and another one. Come here, you. Down here. And then we can go ahead and stick that one on. Get rid of our backings. So we're going to pop that one on there. Okay, here is my single leaf. It's going to kind of tuck in behind here. It's going to get covered with this. Actually, I think we're going to do that. So we're going to go ahead and glue this one flat. And this is going to kind of extend out the side a little bit to balance out this one. Okay, so again, a couple of minis. One, this guy lost its backing, so we must use. And then again, a couple of mini. Let's make this one a little bit lower, so I'm going to actually move this. We're going to pop this on for a second. And then I'm actually just going to use a little bit of liquid glue to glue down my leaf, because it is going to overlap the others. So just a smidge of liquid glue here. There we go. Okay, there's our floral arrangement once that is set up. Okay, isn't that pretty? Still need a little smidge down here. Come here. There we go. All right, so this is going to get glued onto the front of our card. Now we want to make sure that it's not glued to the bottom panel. Do you see that? So we're going to only glue this to the top, add glue to the top half. So I'm going to actually add dimensionals here. So again, I'm closing my card. I flipped my card or my panel over, and I'm going to put dimensionals just on the top half where they're not going to interfere with the opening of my card. So now we can close this, and gotta love plaid DSP because it gives us a little help in getting our pieces on straight. Very helpful. There we go. All right. Next, we need to do our label. So again, I've got some scrap white cardstock here. We are going to bring in our happy birthday and our Lost Lagoon ink pad. Thanks for sharing, Pam. I appreciate it. So we've stamped our happy birthday, and we're going to punch. Just like that. And then we're going to add just a little hint of color. So I'm going to bring in my daubers here for a minute and my Calypso Coral. So I'm going to ink up this large blossom here just with a sponge dauber. I'm going to stamp off once because I want this to be nice and light, and then I'm going to stamp on my label. And that just gives me a little hint of the flower without overwhelming the sentiment. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do some more layering. So this time we are going to layer it. So I got to think about this. So we are going to cut this in half. Or sorry, we're going to cut off our points first, and then we're going to cut it in half. So we end up with two pieces. So this one is going to go on just like this. And this one's going to go on just like this. I got to clean that up a little bit. I need it to be straight. There we go. So we're going to add some adhesive here. And again, where did I put it? Okay, we're doing the top first apparently, because that's where I put the glue. There's one. And come on. Two. Okay, and then we're going to add some more. Same thing with this second one. So we're going to cut off the points on opposite sides. So clean that up. And same thing on this side. And then cut in half. And then we're going to layer there. And there. And there you go. A nicely matted label. All right, now we're going to add just a little bit of the Lost Lagoon ribbon because I wanted to pull in a little bit more of that beautiful Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to add some steel to the back of my label here. And we're just going to do our little ribbon trick. So I'm just going to start, and I'm basically making a Z across the back of my label. Okay, so then we're going to trim and trim. Okay, and then that is going to get adhered with some dimensionals. Now again, we're going to glue this so that it's nice and close to our, see how close it is to my focal image when the card is closed. When it opens, it spreads out more. Okay, so this time we are going to glue this. How did I do this? We're going to glue it to the bottom panel. So easiest way to do that is to actually stick your dimensionals right on the bottom panel. Peel off your backings. I think I might put one more right in tight here. And then we're going to pop that on just like that. You see how that works? All right. The only thing we're adding by way of embellishment to the front of this one is some brushed brass butterflies. Have to say that slowly because it's a little bit of a tongue twister. So we're going to add a couple of these little fellas to the front of our card. And one more. Add one to the label, just like that. Okay, now on the inside, I wanted to decorate as well because that's what people are going to look at when they open it. So we have on the inside, we're going to open this up. Okay, and I'm just adding some more of that plaid DSP. These are cut to 1 1/4 by 4, 4 1/8, 1 1/4 by 4 1/8. So again, we're going to add a little bit of adhesive here. Isn't it a cool card? I love it. Yes, Krista is a genius. You can let her know that. She's watching. I love when I get to learn from my team. It is great to go to team meetings and have somebody else doing the teaching, and I get to learn right along with everyone else. It's great. All right, so there we go. Now we're going to do a little bit of stamping here. So here is my floral image again. So I'm going to, again, come in with my Calypso Coral dauber. Hi, Margaret from North Carolina. Happy 4th of July. And then we're going to add a little bit of crushed curry to the smaller flower. I like inking with daubers because it's a much softer look, especially if you have a juicy ink pad. Using the daubers really softens your look, and it also lets you control how much ink you're putting on your stamp. This particular image lends itself really well to dauber. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and stamp our flowers. Oh, that was close. Okay, whew. I almost dropped my stamp right on my finished project. There we go. Done and done without a disaster. So there we go. Finished card. You like that one? Easy fun folds, not hard at all. But again, a nice little wow. Whoops, that one's tucked in behind. Moving on to number 3. Let me close up my ink pad here. Okay, Krista says she got this idea from her niece. Okay, well, Krista, thank you for sharing it with us, and thank you to your niece for sending you a really cool Christmas card. See, you never know how our cards are the cards that you send are going to inspire other people, right? All right, so our last card, this is a little bit of a punch art card in honor of those really cute punches. This is a super simple fun fold. It's not really even a fun fold. It's kind of a fancy card, but not hard to do at all. So let's get to this one. It's going to come together really quickly. So our base is basic black cardstock. It is 6 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so it's a much smaller base because half of it is missing. So we're going to go ahead and fold in half along our score line. Okay, that's going to give us the top tent of our card. And on that, we are going to add some more of our fun plaid DSP. So we're going to go ahead, this is what, 1 inch? Yes, 1 by 4. So we'll just add a little bit of glue here and pop this on. Nice and straight. Okay. We have a piece of crushed curry cardstock. This is not cardstock. This is DSP. This is from the DSP pack. It is a 4 by 5 3/4. So that is going to go on our background centered. So again, a little bit of glue and pop this on. Okay, Kathy, thanks for popping in. We'll see you next week. All right, so there we go. And then we have another little panel. This is the same size as that little flap at the top. So again, it's 1 1/4 by 4 1/4. And we have another 1 by 4 inch piece of DSP that is going to get glued on that one. So we'll pop that on, just like that. Okay, so those are eventually going to form our base. Now, we need to do some work on our focal image. So there are 3 different labels. They're all the same size. These are cut using the new Nested Essentials dies. These are in the annual catalog. If you have not checked them out, you're going to want to because they're pretty great. This large label is massive and works really well for this fold. So we are going to arrange our X's and O's, right? X, O, X, yes, kiss, hug, kiss, onto our label here. All right, so these are just punched again from the DSP. They're going to get popped. So I'm going to use a couple of minis. I think we'll use 4, 1 in each corner. May as well do both X's at the same time. There we go. And our O, we'll use full-size dimensionals, probably 2. All right, so I'm going to actually go ahead and glue my O, this in the center first. So we're gonna pop this on. Just heard my doorbell ring. That should be our dinner. I'm hoping somebody up there goes and answers it. Somebody's home. My son is on vacation too, so hopefully he heard the doorbell. And then we're gonna add our X and another X. Isn't it a terrific bundle, Laura? It really, there are so many possibilities with it, and it's just so much fun. All right, so now we have our label, and we can go ahead and put the rest of our card together. Now, I personally find this easier to do horizontally. In fact, you could certainly orient your card landscape if you wanted to. But the trick to this is making sure that this little strip here is lined up flush with the bottom edge of your card base. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of liquid glue. Make sure I'm not off camera here. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue if it decides to come out to the top and bottom edges of my little white label here. Okay. So I'm actually going to flip this around because I want to be able to hold this little tab, this little panel here in place. I want it to be flush because once it is stuck, it is stuck. So you want to make sure that your card is going to be nice and even. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this now, centered-ish on my card. I'll slide this down just a smidge and maybe up a bit. It always helps if your card base is straight to start. Mine was not. There we go. And just secure that, and there we go. Now, I did find that this was a little bit flimsy. So, to give it a little bit of reinforcement, that's where our black label is going to come in. So we're actually going to go ahead and layer this black label behind the white one just to reinforce, because the embossed cardstock is kind of flimsy, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid glue to my black label. And I'm just going to line this up with the white one. And again, I'm doing white on white, so anything could happen. We're just going to hope and pray that that works. Okay, that looks pretty good. And that just gives a little bit more strength so that our card stands up nicely. Okay, now here's my ultimate tip for adding our white label on the inside to write on. So we're going to open this back up. Once again, I'm going to line this up with my existing label there. We're going to add some glue. I agree, Pam, I think it does look better with the black. It just makes it look a little bit more finished. 100% agree. All right, so we are going to oh, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Put my glue on the wrong side. All right, this is going to get dicey now. I'm talking, I shouldn't be talking. Okay, I'm going to very lightly. Should not be talking while stamping. Okay, there we go. I will take my adhesive eraser to clean that up. I might actually glue another black label on top of this, but I will get rid of all of that. The idea was to put this right side up and then close your card this way to stick your card so it perfectly lines up. All right. Do not talk and glue at the same time. That's dangerous. All right. So I'm going to work with this open just so I don't stick my card shut, and we are going to finish this one off. So I have here just a little 1/2-inch scrap of white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp my lots of love in black ink. And then we are going to, actually, I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to do this a little differently than I did on my sample. So we're actually going to take the X punch and we're going to punch this right across here like this. Do you see that? And then we can clean this up straight across like this. Isn't that neat? Great way to create a small little label. Isn't that fun? So that's going to go on there like that. We're just going to put a little liquid glue on there to glue that. It's going to go on just like that. And then we're going to add a little bitty bow here. Make sure that's on straight. Gotta love some black and white gingham. I really hope this ribbon never ever retires. It is the perfect touch on so many projects. I can't even count the number of rolls of this stuff I've gone through. All right, let's trim this up and add a glue dot. And we're gonna pop that on just like that. Okay, our last touch is to add some of these fun sparkle gems. These are also new embellishments in the catalog. So we're gonna add just a couple of these little guys for a little sparkle and shine. Put one up here, and there we go. Let me see if I've glued this. Nope, I haven't. Good. That's what you gotta love, Tombow. It's two-way glue, right? So it's like, it's temporary glue once it dries, and it's permanent when it's wet. So I will clean this up, but there you go. That is our finished card. Isn't that a fun one? Super easy if you're not talking while gluing. All right. Okay, so let's bring in our other projects, and then I'm going to show you a few more that I did with this bundle. So this one, I used the bundle, but I used some of the Delightfully Eclectic DSP. There are images in that DSP that work beautifully with this bundle. So there's a cute little one there. And then I had some great fun with watercolor and playing with lots and lots of different techniques. So this one is watercolor resist. So I stamped on vanilla, actually on watercolor paper with clear embossing powder, and then heat embossed, and then added some of the leaves and did a wash and just had lots of fun getting messy. Here's another watercolor technique. So this one I started with wet watercolor paper and stamped using Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. And then here's one, this actually isn't watercoloring, this is just ink blending and layering and a little bit of gold leafing. And then here's a super simple, like doesn't get any easier, quick card. So you can go from quick and easy to stepped up to fun folds with this, this particular suite. It is absolutely gorgeous. All right, ladies, thanks for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed these projects. I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July for those of you that are in the US. And I will see you next week for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. Bye for now.